By the time you hear the siren, it's already too late. One goes to the morgue and the other to jail. One guy's wasted and the other's a waste. It goes out of same as 1,000 before. The lowest gas, water, lowest burning the floor. And never ending spree of death and violence and hate. It's gonna tie your old rope, tie your old rope, tie your old. Hey, man, you disrespected me. Take him out.
Gotta keep them separated.
Hey, man, you're talking back to me. Take him out.
Gotta keep them separated.
Hey, pay no mind. You're under 18, you won't be doing any time. Hey, come out and play. It goes out the same as 1,000 before. The lowest gas, water, lowest running the score. You're never ending spree of death and violence and hate. It's gonna tie your old rope, tie your old rope, tie your old. Hey, man, you're talking back to me. Take him out.
Gotta keep them separated.
Hey, man, you're disrespecting me. Take him out.
Gotta keep them separated.
Hey, pay no mind. You're under 18, you won't be doing any time. Hey, come out and play.
Welcome to the 2024 West Coast World Series, sponsored by Placer Valley Tourism, the perfect place for your next event. placertourism.com. 6 teams playing for the right to call themselves champions of the West Coast. Now, for all the sights and the sounds, let's send it up to the booth to find out who will be crowned the next West Coast World Series champion.
Hello and welcome to McBean Stadium in Lincoln, California for night 2 of pool play in the West Coast World Series. Mark the Phantom Low here with you. Riley the Engineer alongside. Tonight we have the last game of the second day of the tournament as the host team, the Lincoln Potters, meet Los Peloteros. Now, the Potters got off to a good start last night. They took down the Show-Cali Astros 17-2 behind home runs from Trey Furry, Cole Dillon, and Cole Chamberlain. The Peloteros also beat Show-Cali yesterday. The Peloteros was a collection of just graduated high school seniors. They took care of Show-Cali in the morning, which means it's pool supremacy and a bye into tomorrow's semifinals at stake here tonight. Manager Tyler Robertson has chosen Andrew Ballantyne to be his pitcher tonight. But again, the Potters are the visiting team. Here is the lineup that they will take out to face David Weiser, the pitcher for Los Peloteros. Hassani Johnson, Chamiso, and Hanson, the first three, same as last night. Anson Arrows is batting in the cleanup spot. Trey Furry with a home run last night, batting fifth, followed by Cole Dillon. Newcomer is Connor Barth at second base. Drew Andrews in center field, and Jake Harvey once again behind the plate. And Andrew Ballantyne again is on the mound for the Potters. But let's take a look at David Weiser, the pitcher for the Los Peloteros. David is out of Bradshaw Christian High School, committed to Stanford University, and he will take over on the mound as the Potters come up here trying to win Pool A and go into tomorrow's semifinals. So you only have to play one if you're in one of the top 2 seeds. Athletic Edge Express is 2-0 in the other pool, so they will be one of the other top 2 seeds. And so the Potters trying to fill that spot and get a bye into tomorrow's semifinals. Just about ready to get started. Sonny Johnson, Zach Chamiso, and Jason Hanson. The lineup, the first 3 for the Potters, were joined sort of in the booth by the great Ryan Stevens, who just came up here to hang out, and I'm going to make him talk to us in a little while. I'll give him a chance to kind of get situated. You know, he's very shy. That's why we did the Ryan Stevens show for 5 seasons. And every day he's come up with great answers to actually terrible questions that I would throw at him. But we'll talk to Ryan in just a little bit. First, let's go with Hassani Johnson, the left-hand hitting shortstop. Get 345 for the Potters during the summer season. It was 0 for 2 last night in the big win over Show-Cali Astros. The first pitch is on the outside corner for a strike. .92 miles an hour. A very generous outside corner. 0-1 on Hassani. Takes that one. That is outside for a ball. Waiting just a half beat on that one before declaring an outside. So 1 ball and 1 strike on Johnson. Zach Chamiso to follow. Fastball on the corner again. 1-2. Weiser from Bradshaw Christian High School, headed to Stanford. A lot of Potters have been at Stanford over the years. When they went to the World Series a couple years ago, there were a lot of Potters on that team. 1-2 pitch is called. Strike 3, and Johnson is out. So Weiser with the strikeout. Johnson goes down looking, and Zach Chamiso will be the hitter. Let's take a look defensively at the Peloteros. Wasilchuk in left, Peterson in center, Fern in right. It's Wilson, Brennan, Moore, and Plout along the infield. Jake Redding behind the plate, and David Weiser is on the mound. And here's Zach Chamiso out of Lincoln High School, Sierra College, and just recently committed to San Jose State University. Zach 0 for 2 last night with a run batted in. Takes down low for a ball, hit at .319 for the Potters. Didn't get a lot of at-bats until the last third of the season, but quickly found the groove and really was instrumental in getting the Potters into the Pacific Empire League Championship Series against the Healdsburg Prune Packers. 1-0 pitch. Zach takes down low again, 2-0. Potters had to win 6 of 7 down the stretch, including going to Healdsburg and taking care of the Prune Packers at Rec Park. And they pulled that off to get into the final. Then, of course, the McBean Miracle in Game 1 of the playoffs. Swinging a miss fouled in the catcher's glove. 2-1 on Zach Chamiso before the Prune Packers took games 2 and 3 at home to win the title, the first ever Pacific Empire League title. Jason Hansen to follow for the Potters. Here in the top of the first, they are the designated visiting team here. 2-1 pitch sails outside. 3-1. Yultsen in at third base, even with the bag. Plout deep at first, behind the bag. 3-1 coming up to Zach Jamiso. Hit sharply right back to Weiser. Puts the glove down, gets it, runs the requisite 2/3 of the way. Underhands it to first base. 2 outs quickly in the top of the first inning. That'll bring up Jason Hansen, who ever since his dramatic home run, the McBean Miracle on Tuesday, has been swinging a hot bat. He was 3 for 4 in the game yesterday. Had himself a run batted in, scored a pair. Comes up here with nobody on and 2 outs in the top of the first inning. Last day, Game 2, West Coast World Series. Good crowd out here checking this one out. Big breaking ball is high and inside. The Peloteros, a very local group, so stands to reason they'd get a good group out here checking them out. Hopefully some as well watching at home. 1-0 pitch. Jason takes a strike, 1-1. Weiser up around 93, so a good right arm on David. But you don't get committed to Stanford if you don't have a good arm, so there you go. Kind of makes sense. Breaking ball's hit high up in the air to left field. Wasilchek is going over there, but that's going to be grassy knoll bound. Actually, far to the left of the grassy knoll, the new improved grassy knoll area down the left field line. So it's 1-2 now on Jason Hansen. If he reaches, it'll be Hanseneros on deck. From the windup, David Weiser. 1-2 pitch. Fastball misses. Outside, 2-2. Yultsen getting some glasses from the dugout to protect against the sun, which is brutal on the left side of the infield and in the outfield at this time of night. 2-2 pitch. Henson swings and misses, so Weiser looking strong in the first inning, 1-2-3. After half inning at Potters, nothing. Peloteros coming to bat.
American River College is a top-tier community college sports program that provides student athletes with the opportunity to thrive both athletically and academically. ARC Athletics is currently ranked 5th in the state and 2nd in Northern California. With over 19 sports programs, our athletes compete with the region's best athletes. Our diverse and dedicated coaching staff helps athletes develop the skills necessary to compete at the next level. Start your community college athletics journey with us. American River College, Sacramento's best athletic program. Go Beavers.
Bottom of the first inning, Les Peloteros coming up to the plate against the left-hander Andrew Ballantyne. He will face this lineup. The home team, Carson Moore, Cash Brennan. Cash with a relationship to a previous Potter legend, which we'll get into. Kyle Pedersen in center field. Yultsen at third base. Wasilchek, Plout at first. Redding, Williams, and Fern batting ninth in right field. And, of course, David Weiser, as we pointed out in the top of the inning. On the mound, the right-hander struck out 2 Potters in a 1-2-3 top of the first. Here's Carson Moore to lead us off out of Del Oro High School, headed for San Diego State University. Left hand hitting more against the left-hander Andrew Ballantyne. Chops it foul. 0-1. Followed by Cash Brennan and Kyle Pedersen. And we have our minuscule ball boy checking out. We don't have Hunter yet. Breaking balls hit down the right field line. It's curving. It'll be foul into the bullpen area. And it's 0-2 on Carson Moore. Seeing the Mayor Garcia patrolling down the third baseline. I think that's because I believe the manager of the Peloteros is a gentleman named Eli Garcia, who, first of all, is a Potter legend, obviously. Actually was the winning pitcher of the first game Stones and I ever broadcast from McBean Stadium in year 2 of the Potters. Beat the San Francisco Seals in that game. There's Piper. Breaking balls hit sharply but fouled down the first baseline. Piper very jaunty today. Maybe he got some sleep or something. Maybe he's, he might have gone and done the blind grab, which we'll talk about in just a second, which was invented last night by Willie, and he's bringing it back tonight to the delight of the fans here at McBean Stadium. 0-2 coming up to Carson Moore. Breaking balls popped up. Playable perhaps for the pitcher. And Ballantyne will make the play. Coming in from third was Cole Dillon, but he really couldn't see it. So Ballantyne does a good job fielding his position. And in one out, let's look defensively at our Potters. Ansonero's out in left field. Drew Andrews in center. It's Trey Furry in right. Chamiso Barth, the newcomer. Johnson and Dillon in the infield. Jake Harvey behind the plate. And Andrew Ballantyne on the mound. And here's Cash Brennan, brother of Potters legend Peyton Brennan, coming to the plate. Cash out of Rockland High School. Takes a breaking ball for a strike. He is headed to University of Arizona. And Peyton was one of the finest Potter players this year. Left us, I think, a little bit too early. That's down low. But he was tremendous while he was here. And we welcome, although not right now, his brother. He's a legacy, so we have to be kind to him. But we could use the outs, to be honest with you. Ballantyne's pitch is outside, so it's 2-1 on Brennan. He's followed by Kyle Pedersen. Good crowd out here checking it out on the second night of the West Coast World Series. Breaking ball swung on a miss. We can judge by the views that we've been getting the first 2 days. This is a very popular affair here. And a good crowd last night, a good crowd out here tonight. Braving the elements and checking out some good baseball. 2-2 on Brennan. Swings and misses. So Ballantyne gets the strikeout. 2 outs here in the first. And that'll bring up Kyle Pedersen out of Roseville High School and headed to UC Davis. Right-hand hitting center fielder against Ballantyne. First right-handed hitter of the night against Andrew. His first pitch is a strike. He's at 86, the left-hander. Andrew out of, I believe, Ceres, California. That is correct. 0-1. Grounder out towards second base. Barth goes to his right, picks it up, guns it to first, and another good inning. This is a good inning for Ballantyne. We go to the top of the second. No score.
This job is the Esplanade at Turkey Creek phases 4 and 5. Our scope of work for this project is full scope, so we've got all the underground, all the joint trench, and all the top side included with it.
We're putting in sewer pipe, manholes. We're not doing services yet. We go through and do all the main line, and then we come back and do all the services after that. I would say this project right here, the one we're working on, is probably about a 2-month project. It's very costly to the developer, so beating the schedule is very important, more important than most projects. It's got a lot of groundwater, so we've got an extensive groundwater pump system in place. It's just cool to be a part of the built environment and know that for the next 100 years that people are going to use and enjoy what we've created here today.
I'm Bill Spear, North Valley president of 5 Star Bank. In a time when business can feel so uncertain, we're here for you every step of the way.
I know they have a lot of bells and whistles within their bank, but just the relationship piece here locally on the business side is huge for us.
5 Star treats us like we're number one. They're right there with suggestions, with help. So I have to bank with people that have our mission in mind.
We're 5 Star Bank. How can we help you?
Top of the second, no score. It's Encinaro's Trey Furry and Cole Dillon against the right-hander David Weiser, who was very impressive in the top of the first as Willie Preston, the best PA man in the business, is detailing the blind grab, which we talked about yesterday, and he's bringing it back today. If you're here at McBean Stadium, you just go down to the bar in the concourse there and put your hand in the ice bucket. Fish around for $5. You can either get a 12-ouncer or a 16-ouncer premium beer. For $6, it's a 19-ouncer or a 24-ouncer. So, I mean, you can make hay either way, but that's a great deal if you're here at McBean Stadium. Swing and a miss by Encinaros, 0-1. And if you're in the area and thinking about, maybe I'll come out tomorrow. Well, I'm pretty sure Willie will throw that at you again tomorrow. Plus, there's a lot of great merchandise deals going on, too. So there's a lot of reason to come on out here. Off-speed, swung on and missed, 0-2. Willie's coming up with stuff. He's getting everything rubber stamped, too. He's coming up with crazy ideas, and people are just going, yeah, whatever, Willie, go ahead and do it. So he's announcing all kinds of nutty deals. Anson check swing down the third base line and foul. But the blind grab is my favorite. Put your hand in the ice bucket and pull out a beer. Or you can do what Ryan did. Ryan Stevens, who was up here earlier, he just went up there and said, I'm Ryan Stevens, and they just gave him beer. So you can do that, too. I don't know if everybody can do that, though. Anson takes outside for a ball. 1-2. Trey Furry to follow, then Cole Dillon for the Potters here in the top of the second inning. Last game, day 2 of the West Coast World Series. That's chopped down the first base line and foul. So far, Athletic Edge Express 2-0. The California Tigers are 1-1. Chocahelos 0-2. Chocali Astros 0-2. And the Potters and Peloteros both 1-0, playing for supremacy in Pool A. And one of the top 2 seeds in tomorrow's semifinals. 4 games on tap for tomorrow. Here's the 1-2. Outside. 3 against 6 and 4 against 5 are the first 2. Then the winners of those will move on and take on the 1 and 2 seeds in the last 2 games of the night. Arrow swings and misses at a breaking ball. He fouled it off, so he'll stay alive. Still 2-2. Jake Redding behind the plate. Jake out of Lincoln High School, which is pretty close here. It's right over there, about a mile away. Check swing, and that's on the corner, strike 3 call. Third strikeout for Weiser. Second one that is a call, third strike, and that'll bring up Trey Furry. Trey was 2 for 2 last night, drove in 2, scored 3, ended up the season at 310 as he returned late in the year to help the Potters reach the playoffs. Out of Folsom Lake College and William Jessup University, right-handing right fielder steps in against Weiser. Takes outside, off-speed pitch, 1-0. Trey, a legendary Potter. I'm going to say he's played 3 summers. I'll have to check with Willie, the arbiter of everything. Swing and a miss on the fastball at 91 from Weiser. 1 ball, 1 strike, Cole Dillon to follow. No base runners in this game on either side so far. We're through 7 batters in the top of the second inning. That's in the dirt, 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. Mark the Phantom Low here with you, along with Riley the engineer, Willie Preston on the PA, Carson and Lauren taking care of the business as the interns. That's outside. I think Carson's doing the TrackMan, but Lauren yesterday was having problems. She was supposed to do some crazy, I don't even know what it was, some crazy program, and it didn't work or something. I'll have to ask her about it. She was explaining it to me last night. Because usually she does the pipsqueak or the point squeak or whatever. Ball 4 to Trey. So somebody is on base at least, and he'll go down to first base, and Cole Dillon will be the hitter. Cole was 207 on the season, but has been hot in the postseason and was 1 for 2 and drove in 4 last night. Had a home run. He had a 2-run home run and 2 bases-loaded walks, which is a weird way to get 4, but that's what he had. So he's up here. Now, Furry is a threat to take off. Weiser gets the ball to the plate very quickly, so we'll see how that works out. As we see Ray Garcia, the mayor's mom, is here. Awesome. She's tremendous. Fastball is in there for a strike. And she's got the mayor on one side and her son. I think Isaiah, her other grandson, is also helping out Eli, another Potters legend, on the third base line in the dugout. So she's got a lot to root for here. Furry leads off at first base. He's got that look about him, and Weiser knew it, and he's going to throw over there. And Furry gets back in. 0-1 to Cole Dillon. He's followed by the newcomer, Connor Barth, wearing number 9 out of Roseville. There goes Furry. The pitch is high. The throw to second is going to be on a bounce, and he got there in time for the out, and I don't know if I agree with that, but I've got to abide by that, as we all do. So it got there on a hop, but it was a quick hop. Bounced right up to where Trey's sliding in. The tag applied. 2 outs here in the inning. That pitch, I believe, was high, so it's 1 ball and 1 strike on Cole Dillon. Two outs now here, top of the second. That's it right back up the middle. Second baseman moving over. That's Moore to first base in the dirt. Scooped up over there by Plout, and he is out. So good play defensively by the Peloteros, and they'll go to the bottom of the second. Still no score.
Hi, Bill Evans, President of the Placer County Association of Realtors. We're in the store, our conference facilities, an amazing team helps keep together an amazing organization, and we thank them all.
This organization can't do what it does and can't run the way it runs without the help of so many members volunteering their time.
The success of the Placer County Association of Realtors is largely dependent on our active volunteer members to help our organization and industry. The work of our committees greatly impacts our ability to champion efforts across the board and giving back to the Placer County community wherever we can.
Like all service organizations, I wanted to serve. And getting involved with the affiliate committee was the perfect way to do that.
I love being able to serve my community with my business friends and other leaders and give back to those who are in need.
The thing I love about the PCAR committees is they all work toward the same goal of bringing the community together to support those in need in our surrounding area.
I instantly came to the meeting and had a wonderful time, felt like I was a part of something bigger, and it was just the start of my leadership journey.
Situated on the corner of Lincoln Boulevard and 5th Street, this iconic building has been the home to several hotels over the decades, the most famous and longest running of which was the Lincoln Inn. Having undergone several renovations and architectural changes, this building is the current home of Old Town Pizza, which boasts not 1 but 2 floors for your dining enjoyment, including open-air seating on the roof. Stop in for a slice today. Or stop by the Lincoln Museum to see the 300-pound cash register that used to adorn the front desk of the Lincoln Inn.
Bottom of inning number 2, Andrew Ballantyne out there. He'll face Troy Yoltson and Andrew Razelchuk and Landon Plout. Just still a little bit shaken by Piper's performance in the mascot race. He took a chair out to sit at second base. Then when the participants came out near to him, one of them took a header, almost hit the chair. Then he pulled the chair out, and he came in last, of course. But the winner was well-deserved. But Piper made a mockery of the entire thing. And I'll have to have a talk with him. Honestly, you can't take it's a race. You don't take a chair out in the middle of a race. Anyway, outside to Yoltson out of Rockland High School. That breaking ball is on the inside corner for a strike. Troy headed to the University of Arizona. Left-handed hitter against the left-hander Andrew Ballantyne, who struck out one in a 1-2-3 first inning. Misses with that one, 2-1. Andrew Wasilchuk is on deck, the left fielder. Hilton takes the breaking ball, and that's been very effective against the left-handed hitter so far for Ballantyne. It's once again effective, evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Uh-oh, is this the mayor? What's the mayor doing up here? He's divided loyalties, mayor? Okay, all right. 3-2. Get the mayor on. We got to talk with the mayor. Get in here, mayor. Swing and a miss. He's out on strikes. So Yolson's down for the first out of the inning, and that will bring up Andrew Wasilchuk, the left fielder. We welcome the mayor. Mayor, how you doing? We got to work on. We got to get you some volume up here. Riley's working against you. He doesn't want you to get the limelight. Well, I tell you, are you conflicted at all today? That's what I'm asking. You've got your foot in both camps here today, and I'm just a little worried about your divided loyalties.
Oh, well, first off, I'm Lincoln.
I know you're Lincoln, but there's Lincoln all over the place here.
There is, and I'm always a Potter. You know that.
Oh yeah, you're part of the pot, absolutely part of the Potters, no doubt about it. But you've got, you got some Potter legends in the third base dugout tonight. There's a chopper up the middle, base hit up the middle by Wasilchuk. The first hit of the ball game is right back up the middle. He's at first base, and Landon Plown. And I think, if I remember correctly, Landon out of Lincoln High School, near and dear to your heart.
Right on cue, I think Wasilchuk's the Lincoln High Zebras.
Oh, geez, there's zebras all over the place. Well, the zebras have a great history in baseball, as you know, Mayor, and your boys right in the center of that back in the day, 3 straight section titles. Ooh. So that's pretty special. So again, Eli is managing. Isaiah, I guess, is assisting him over there. Yeah. But tell us a little bit about Eli. All of a sudden, I hear rumblings coming around, and all of a sudden he's coaching Roseville High. What's going? How did that come about, and how did the first year go for him?
Oh wow, yeah, that was it was about this time last year.
Yeah.
He came to me and said, "Hey, Dad, I'm gonna go for the Roseville High job." And okay. I was like, hey, in my head, I'm thinking, hey, it's a good experience. Go for an interview. And
sure.
All. Not thinking anything of more than that, because I know Roseville High is a pretty
it's a great
lot of tradition there.
Yeah,
and I know there's a lot of applicants that went for that job.
Absolutely, 1 and 2 on Plout. So go ahead. So he comes to you and he says, Dad, I think I'm going to go for this.
And of course, I've always supported him on everything. So he went for it, and he comes back about, I don't know, maybe a month or so later and says, Dad, I got the job.
So he wanted to get that's what I love about the kids. They come back right away and let us know what's going on, right?
Yeah.
So a month later, he says, I got the job. And then, so was he, when he got the job, obviously excited about the job. Look out, that's inside for a ball. It hit full count 3-2. So, he hits the ground running, and I guess Roseville had a pretty good year this year. But how was it him getting acclimated? Now, I don't know if he's done a lot of coaching, and that's a big job.
Oh, yeah. With the history and tradition there, that is, even me, Roseville it was just to be Lincoln Roseville.
Right,
there was no Rockland. There was a Wood Creek. There was none of that.
That is ball 4, so base on ball sorted under second base is unnecessary, as I like to call it. So 2 on and 1 out, and Jake Redding to the plate. So go ahead, Ray.
Yeah, so I was thinking wow, this is real deal here.
Yeah.
So he went in. I kind of just sat in the back and just I was a little nervous, but I knew he
Let me interrupt for a second. I don't know you to be sitting at the back a lot. I just have to say that, okay? I know you. I don't know how many years, but a lot.
I did sit in the back on this.
Okay.
And so he went for it. Him and Isaiah, they had a game plan, and they went full throttle with it. Got a bunch of boys to believe in their philosophy of playing baseball, and they did have a really good season. With coming in and they had seniors there that didn't know them.
Sure, absolutely,
And,
the
they
new
brought
regime,
yeah, they brought up 6 or 7 sophomores, and they competed every day, and it was just and then of course I got involved.
Okay, I don't want to. I was just going to say, first of all, before that, Was Isaiah always going to be involved as well as Eli? And you talk about bringing their style of baseball. You've watched them obviously from the beginning. What exactly is their philosophy, and where do you think it comes from? It springs from?
Well, I think the hard nose comes from they had like Coach Middleton involved in their life, Coach Graham involved in their life at a young age, and me I was pretty tough on them as a dad, and then as they went to Sierra College, you had Rob Wilson, who was he's a great coach there, and then Isaiah had Rick Vanderhook at Fullerton, and Eli having Serrano at CSUN, and they're
chopper up the middle. Tough play by Barth, and he gets underneath his glove into center field. Runs coming around to third. He will score on the throws a little bit too late and makes one of the oddest slides I've seen in a long time, but he still scored the run. Yes, it's a base hit up in the middle for Reading. Yeah, Peloteros draws first blood, and they lead this one 1-0. Go ahead, Ray.
Yeah, and Serrano, which I didn't know, he was a assistant coach there at Cal State Fullerton when they were in the College World Series. Might have won it. So they had
a lot of experience.
A lot of experience, and it's pretty amazing what they did.
Amazing.
That all the stuff that they accumulated over the years.
Austin Williams at the plate for Los Peloteros. They've got a runner at first and second, 1 run in. They lead it 1-0 here. Bottom of the second inning. Talking to Ray Garcia, aka the mayor. His son Eli, the manager of the Los Peloteros, but also the head coach at Roseville High School, and Isaiah, I guess, an assistant coach here, an assistant coach at Roseville as well.
Yeah, he is. It's funny how that works. Everyone always thinks Isaiah would be the head coach and Eli would be the assistant.
But Eli was the pitcher and the catcher.
Yeah,
so,
and the quarterback.
Yeah, and the quarterback. Yeah, up the middle again. Barth backhands it, flips it to the shortstop at second for one. Johnson to first, a double play. Great play by the Potters, but a run scores for Los Peloteros. We go to the third inning. We'll talk with Ray a little bit more. We go to the third inning. Score Los Peloteros on top, 1-0.
Astro Air Design Incorporated, where you feel the difference. We are a locally owned and operated heating, air conditioning, and custom sheet metal company committed to the highest quality of craftsmanship at a competitive price. Our trained and certified technicians have the knowledge and experience required to install, maintain, or repair your home comfort solutions. Our upfront pricing gives you the peace of mind because you know your price is locked in. Call Astro Air Design Incorporated today.
Here in Michigan, we do more than just survive the winter. We thrive during it. You simply can't keep us away from what we love most: great times and amazing beer. The snow transforms the landscape and lays the path for adventures yet to be had. Trails ready to be explored, and freshly groomed hills ready for the first run of the day. And later, as the sun descends, it's time to unwind with great conversation and even better friends. Experience a taste of Michigan winter with Founders Brewing Company, born and brewed in Michigan.
Top of inning number 3, David Weiser back out on the mound talking to the mayor, a.k.a. Ray Garcia. His son's running Los Peloteros, so he says not divided loyalties. I think maybe a little bit divided, but you mentioned, Ray, Jake Redding, who got the RBI single in the bottom second, another Lincoln High product, and your boys so intertwined with Lincoln. Well, you as well, but this is going back a long way. I don't want to go back that far.
No, we don't.
But I wanted to bring it back for a second, Ray, to ask you about this season on the Potters. It's been a kind of an odd season, I thought, and part of it is the fact that the weather hasn't really been our friend, and it's really it's real tough for people to sit around and go, yeah, I'm going to walk out and go to the Potters game tonight, when it's 107 degrees and stuff, so it's been kind of weird. But the team itself got to about 9-10 in conference play, or Pacific Empire League play, the first year of the new league. Then it seems like all the big bats left during a 2-week stretch, either got injured or was their time to leave. And I'll tell you, the guys that stayed around regrouped, and I don't know if I've ever been more impressed with the Potters team as I was when they won 6 out of 7 to get themselves in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah. So, going back to the Heat, when it's Heat and you're in that clubhouse and you're together, you come pretty tight.
Either you do or you go crazy, right?
Yeah. You become pretty tight. They're one of this group is, they're very tight knit. They from day one they have been. So that they always believe in each other. They're a great group of kids. There was a lot of times on Tuesdays, and well, not a lot of times, but on Tuesdays and Thursdays in the morning, you'd have kids that didn't have a lot of at-bats, or, looking to get bats, and they'd be here in the morning taking live ABs, pitchers as well, throwing live ABs, and it has come to that. They had a professional work ethic.
That's nice. That's nice to hear, yeah.
And, so many of those kids. I mean, even the kids that were playing. I mean, I would see Caius Gargett in the morning, 9 o'clock, taking live AB.
He was a real impressive player this year.
Yeah, him and even Huddy when he was here, he would come and take some live ABs, and Sean White, all them guys, and then it trickled down to the younger guys. I mean, Jack Jimenez, he'd be out here, all the Antoine, all them young guys. I mean, you keep going, and on. I mean, they just knew like, hey, anything could happen. I got to stay ready. And I mean, Manzi as well.
Manzi was real hot. Him and Gargett, I think, and along with Zach a little bit, kind of carried the team offensively during that last 2-week stretch, and it was great to see. Gargett all season long was really a good player. He just didn't really get to play that often.
Right.
But it was really nice to see, and it's great to hear you talk about the togetherness, because that's really been a staple ever since we've been here with the Potters. Is they just have a tendency, and Ryan started it or whatever, carrying it through this year. Tyler, to kind of get together really quickly and really pull together. Maybe it's the kids that you guys get, or maybe it's just the leadership. But man, they really pull together right away.
Yeah, it's something special when you get in that clubhouse. I mean, it's a small clubhouse, and you're there. You're the guy you're gonna be with all summer is like right next to you.
Next
and
to
his
you,
shoes are right next to you, and you're rubbing elbows, and so you get to know your. It's a brotherhood. Like if anyone had a brother, they had to live on a bunk bed. It's kind of like that. So. You get to know each other really well, and pick each other up, and it's just something special. I mean,
Connor Barth making his debut tonight. 2-2 pitch from Weiser High, ball 3. Yeah, it's just you get the feeling, and when you see them pull together like that, because there's peaks and valleys. Even in a small 2-month period, there's peaks and valleys.
Right.
But to be able to pull it out like they did is just really admirable, and everybody needs to be commended for that. That is call strike 3.
Oh yeah.
Weiser gets his 4th strikeout. 3 of them are uncalled third strikes, and Drew Andrews, who's an impressive young hitter out of William Jessup, coming to the plate.
And another hitter that really came around,
I
have to say, is Lindbergh.
Oh, yeah. I always liked his swing. I always liked the way he played the game. His average wasn't that great, but it seemed like, as with Cole Dillon a little bit, I was talking about this with Ryan, didn't get that many hits, but every one was big. It just really timely hits. That's popped up. Second baseman coming in is Moore. He is going to call it right around the mound and make the catch for the out. So 8 up and 8 down for the Potters. Well, actually, they got a walk, but Furry was thrown out trying to steal. And Jake Harvey will be the hitter. Yeah, it was really fun to watch that last couple of weeks and watch the team pull together. And the pitching. I mean, the pitching with Perez and with Martinez and out of the bullpen, I know Ryan Baker came out and that's good things. Ryan Castillo had a couple of good starts.
Yeah.
And the guy that really, I mean, I don't know, the awards sometimes when they give it out at the end of the year, that's changed a little bit. We don't get to hear as much about that. But Nolan Thebe, I thought, kind of really tapped into Lincoln. He really did.
Well, you want to talk about why we became really close. Logan Bell and Nolan Thebe.
Oh, Logan Bell is one of my favorites.
Them 2 guys, if I had anything coming along or if there was something going on, you just had to turn to them. And they kind of put everyone together. And they, I'm sure they had their own little, how they text or group me's and all that.
Their threads,
threads. They communicate, and they were always keep the guys in line and everything, and not just doing the field work and everything. So that was having those leaders right there, older guys that been Nolan hasn't been here, but Nolan he knows the college game.
Yeah, when I put my Hall of Fame together, which Matt won't do, but I've already decided it's going to happen. Logan Bell's going to be right there. Because when you talk about guys like a Trey Furry, guys that have been here year after year after year and done the job, and like you say, has different roles now than they did when they first got here, and it's kind of matured in that. That's really great to hear. It really is.
And a lot of time it's them. I kind of, Nolan, I could tell he was a leader, and I put him.
He's kind of a magnet. He kind of draws things, As Harvey gets the base on balls to Sonny Johnson, the hitter. Go ahead, Ray.
And Nolan's locker was right by the door, so they like to play loud music. And so he was like the king of the throne right there. I'd say, Nolan, he just closed the door, and they can play I tell him, you play the music loud as you want, as long as that door's closed.
There you go. That's great. That's great stuff, Ray. Absolutely great stuff. Well, it's been great talking to you, man. I mean, I know you want to go out and you want to root for both teams. You got a good in a way.
Oh, yeah. There's no losing for me.
There's no losing for you. Ray Garcia, a.k.a. the mayor of Lincoln, took the job over from me unofficially several years ago, and he's done a fantastic job. Ray, thanks so much, man.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Get down there and talk to the boys. Tell them I said hi, okay?
Well,
all right.
her up.
Ray Garcia, the mayor, as we are in the top of the 3rd inning, 2 out and 1 on as Harvey gets the base on balls, and Asani Johnson at the plate. He struck out his first time. That is in the dirt inside for a ball. That's great to hear about the Potters in the clubhouse. And we know Logan Bell, he's been one of our favorites for a long time. And Nolan Thebe just exploded this year on the scene. And to hear the two of them kind of taking over like that is really great to hear. Jake Redding going out to talk to David Weiser, who's been very impressive so far with 4 strikeouts over the first 9 batters. Gave up 2 walks, 1 to Furry in the second, 1 to Harvey here in the third. Johnson took a call, 3rd strike to open the game. Potters, the visiting team today, they trail at 1-0. David Weiser out of Bradshaw Christian High School and headed to Stanford University. Showing about a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. Johnson takes that fastball too high. That one a little lower at 87. Three balls, no strikes on Asani. Zach Chamiso on deck. That one sails outside. Ball 4. Johnson taking his time after a couple of calls he got the first time, but third walk for Weiser. 2 on, and now we're going to have a meeting at the mound as they'll check it out here and talk to David Weiser, who's been very impressive over the first 2 2/3 innings. He got the first 2 outs here in the third. He struck out Barth and got Andrews to pop up, but then a walk to Harvey and a walk to Johnson on 9 pitches. We do have some activity, kind of just premature loosening up activity. Looks like Cole Chamberlain's coming out on deck. He will bat for Chamiso. Chamberlain with a home run in last night's game. Early pinch hitter here as Chamberlain comes on here in the third inning. So Chamiso retires 0 for 1, and Chamberlain, who homered last night, homered in single and had 2 walks. First pitch, check swing, and he goes around 0-1. Goal had a couple base on balls, 3-run homer in the third inning, a single in the fifth. So 2 for 2. He scored twice. He drove in 3. He's up here with 2 on and 2 out in the top of the third. Fastball on the outside corner, call strike 2. Oh and 2. Jason Hansen to follow, but it's all about Chamberlain here. Fastball outside at 93 from Weiser. Reared back and threw that one about as hard as he could. Missed on the outside corner, so it's 1 and 2 on Chamberlain. Cole out of Novato High School and headed to the University of Texas. Out of Novato, California, actually. Outfield pulled a little bit to the right and deep for Chamberlain. Chops it a little number down the third base line, but that'll be foul as Weiser pounces off the mound to get out to it. Also, Yoltsin at third base comes in. But we'll do it again, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Thanks to Ray Garcia for spending a couple minutes with us, giving us a little bit of look into both dugouts as his sons are running the show for Los Peloteros, and he, of course, been involved with the Potters from the very beginning. So he's in both dugouts. Johnson at first base, Harvey at second. Los Peloteros leads it 1-0. Slice foul down the left field line and out of play. See, we do have a little bit of warming up down the third base line. I believe that is number 8, Erdman. But I've got Riley on it, so I'll have a verification here in just a second. It is number 8, Eric Erdman out of Jesuit High School. 1-2 on Cole Chamberlain. Check swing, it's the ball, 2-2. Cole 6'2", 215 pounds out of Novato, California. Harvey at second base. Brennan at shortstop trying to keep him close. Fastball's outside, 3-2. That's 92 from Weiser. Three balls, two strikes, two outs here in the third. Great crowd on hand tonight to check out this last game of pool play. Day 2 of the West Coast World Series, hosted by your Lincoln Potters. Popped up left side. Shortstop going over Brennan. It's got sun all over the place. He will try for it, but won't make the play. It's in the bullpen and a foul ball. That's just a really tough play. You're fighting the sun. Obviously, you're running into the bullpen area, so you got a mound down there as well. Mazachuk from left field came over, but he was very slow because it was popped up, and he had to find it first before he could go after it. Brennan had the best angle, but just too far for him to go. And it'll be 3-2 again on the pinch hitter, Cole Chamberlain, here in the third inning. Just a 7-inning ball game. Every game 7 innings until we get to the championship game Tuesday night. That'll be a 9-inning affair. That's outside, ball 4. Off-speed pitch. It's a good at-bat by Chamberlain. Really good pitch selection right there. Third straight walk for David Weiser, and that'll bring up Jason Hansen, who struck out in the first inning. Jason hit 143 for the Potters during the regular season, had the big home run on Tuesday against Healdsburg in game 1 of the playoffs to walk it off, and then was 3 for 4 last night. But he's up here with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Fastball's popped right back to right at us into the screen there, so it's 0-1. But there's the screen. Don't worry, we're not in any danger really. And plus, I have Riley, cat-like reflexes, right next to me. He would go out and snatch that ball right out of the air. 0-1 now on Jason Hansen from Roseville, California, and UC Davis. Swing and a miss at the fastball. That one at 91. Up a little bit high, and Hansen couldn't get around on it. Oh, 0-2 now. Fastball misses outside and low, so it's 1-2. 94 for Weiser on that one. That is the high mark today for the graduate of Bradshaw Christian High School, headed to Stanford University. Hansen arrows on deck, but it's all about Jason Hansen here in the third inning. Fastball misses outside and low. 2-2. Weiser from the windup, the 2-2 on the way. Ball 3. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, so everybody will be going except for Jake Harvey at third. He'll kind of take it easy there. But Johnson will be running right up his back, and Chamberlain from first base will be doing the same as Weiser goes from the windup again, so they'll get a real good jump. There it is. Foul back by Jason Hansen. 91 from Weiser. There's our first mammoth snow cone, or shaved ice down there with a young guy of about 7, I think, and that thing is probably weighs half as much as he does, and he's handling it very well, but with 2 hands. We'll do it again, 3-2. Swings and misses, he got him on strikes. 5th strikeout for Weiser. We go to the bottom of the third. Peloteros leads 1-0.
Being a laborer means everything. It was what took care of me when I was growing up. It's what takes care of me now. Because of President Biden and the money he's put into infrastructure, the need for our workforce to expand is out of this world. When our members are able to go to work on these big projects that are funded by Biden's economic investments, It means continued growth in their wages, in their pensions, in their health benefits. It means they're going to be able to take care of their families.
Gooseport Public House. We have sports on 10 big screen TVs, 23 beer taps with classics and crafts, a full bar with creative craft mixed drinks, live music, and most importantly, great fresh food. In downtown Roseville off Vernon Street, only 15 minutes from the ballpark. See ya at Gooseport.
Old man knocked on my front door with my teenage boy and a couple more from up the road. He had 'em by the collar, said he...
Bottom of inning number 3, Peloteros leads it 1-0, and the bases loaded. 2-out strikeout there of Jason Hansen to end that rally. It'll be Brady Fern, the right fielder, number 9 hitter, and then Carson Moore and Cash Brennan. Valentine's pitch is hit to the left of second base into right field, base hit. Barth kind of went out after that one, couldn't reach it to his left, and Fern with a solid single to right field. Third hit of the game for the Peloteros, and that'll bring up the top of the order and Carson Moore. Fern was coming to us out of Oakmont High School, a high school of Riley the engineer and his sister, but she doesn't get mentioned, just Riley. Breaking ball is high to Moore, who popped out to the pitcher his first time up, hit a high pop-up, and no one else could find it but Ballantyne, so he came down by home plate and made the catch, just like a veteran infielder would have. Ballantyne's going to go to first, and Fern is back. 3 hits for Peloteros. They scored a run with an RBI single from Jake Redding back in the second inning. That's chopped foul on an off-speed pitch. A slider. We got activity for the Potters in their bullpen. We saw Eric Erdman get up earlier for the Peloteros. Now the Potters are loosening up a right-hander down there as Ballantyne enters his third inning of work here. There goes the runner. The pitch is down low, gets away, and he'll be safe at second base. So Fern will get credit for the stolen base. He's at second base with nobody out. 2 balls and 1 strike now on Carson Moore. Carson out of Del Oro High School, headed to San Diego State, the Aztecs. Micah Marquez warming up for the Potters. Breaking ball high and inside. Thank you, Riley. Right-hander out of St. Helena. Loosening up for the Lincoln Potters. Big day tomorrow for the West Coast World Series. 4 games on tap. It's the seeding, 3 versus 6, 4 versus 5, and the winners play against the 1 and 2 seeds. Last ball is ball 4. So 2 on, nobody out here in the third inning for Peloteros, and Cash Brennan, who struck out his first time up, will be the batter. Dillon's going to move in a little bit at third base in case Brennan is putting the ball down. The brother of Potter legend Peyton Brennan is 0 for 1. He is out of Rockland High School and headed to Arizona, University of Arizona, not just the state. Ballantyne to the plate. He shows bunt. It's outside. The fastball, 1-0. 87 from Andrew Ballantyne. Andrew hails from Ceres, California. And he's up against Brennan with nobody out and 2 on here in the third. Shows bunt again, pops it up right back to us and over the tarp, so we're not going to be able to make a play. So it is 1-1 on Cash Brennan. No bunt, and that's in there. No, it's outside for a ball. 2-1. Cal Pedersen on deck, the number 3 hitter tonight for Peloteros. Managed by Eli Garcia, assisted by Isaiah Garcia. Breaking ball, check swing, he did not go, and it is 3-1. So one pitch away from loading the bases here with nobody out. And that's ball 4. So a single and a couple of walks load the bases here in the 3rd inning. Fern goes to 3rd, Moore now at 2nd, Brennan at 1st, and Kyle Pedersen, who grounded to second base his first time up the batter. And we're going to have a meeting at the mound for the Potters. We're going to take a break because it looks like we've got a new pitcher coming in. We are in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Potters trail 1-0.
When it comes to your home's maintenance and repairs, Jeffers Resource Group has you covered. Our handyman services offer a comprehensive range of expertise, from minor carpentry to drywall, electrical and flooring for property managers, landlords, and renters alike. We ensure that every job is completed to the highest standards, so you can have peace of mind. Contact us today to discover how Jeffers Resource Group can help keep your home in top shape.
Micah Marquez, the new pitcher out of St. Helena, California, with the bases loaded and nobody out here in the bottom of the 3rd. Kyle Pedersen's the hitter, the center fielder. Out of Roseville High School, grounded to 2nd his first time up. Sharp grounder out to shortstop. Johnson off his glove into center field. 1 run is scored. Here comes the second. He'll score easily. It's a single up the middle for Pedersen, and Peloteros leads it 3-0. So right, sharply hit ball up the middle. Asani got a glove on it. Now here's going over to 3rd base is Cash Brennan. Just took off for 3rd base, and he is in there. So 2 runs in, 2 hits in the inning. Those runs will be charged to Ballantyne. He went 2+ innings, gave up 3 hits, walked 3, struck out 2, and has given up now 3 runs and is responsible for Brennan over at 3rd. There goes the runner swinging a miss. The throw's going to go down to 2nd. The tag is made, and he is out. Nice throw by Jake Harvey. Got Pedersen. Staying put at 3rd base was Cash Brennan. And now 1 out. And Troy Yoltson, the 3rd baseman, who struck out his first time up against Ballantyne in the 2nd, is at the plate. Potter's playing the infield back. Off-speed pitch is in there for a strike. 0-2 now. Marquez checking the runner, 0-2 pitch. Check swing, it's outside for a ball, 1-2. 2 runs in for Peloteros. They lead at 3-0. We are in the bottom of inning number 3. 7-inning games here in the West Coast World Series until the championship. So Potter's not a lot of time to come back. That one is called the ball as well, 2-2. A little bit outside, a little bit low on Yultsin out of Rockland High School. Andrew Wazelchuk is on deck out of Lincoln High School and going to Sierra College. That is outside for a ball, 3-2. Full count on Yultsin. Brennan down at third base, 1 out here in the bottom of the third. Fouled off to our left. Winner of tonight's game will win Pool A and grab one of those coveted semifinal spots in tomorrow's playoff. 3 versus 6. That game's at 8:30, and 4-5 will be at noon, and then 3:30 and 7 for the remaining 2 games. Line drive down to first base on a hop. Going to have to go to first, make the play. It'll be an RBI ground out as Brennan scores. 2 outs here, and now it's 4-0 for Peloteros. Wilson hits it down on a hop to Chamberlain at first base. Andrew Wazelchuk, who singled his first time up and scored the first run of the game back in the second inning. Comes up here. That one is a little bit too high, so it's 1-0. That one also a little bit too high, pops out of the glove of Jake Harvey. So it's 2 balls and no strikes. Right down the middle, but called a ball. Just a little bit too low, so 3-0. And then Plowed on deck, the first baseman. And that's too high, so ball 4. Third walk of the inning for the Potters pitchers, and it'll bring up Landon Plowed, who walked his first time up, the left-hand inning first baseman out of Lincoln High School. And he might be the Dueling Dogs batter, so if he strikes that, it'll be half off Dueling Dogs for the remainder of, well, I'll just call it next inning, since it would be the end of the inning. Line drive right field, and on a hop out there for Trey Furry. He gets it back in, but it's a solid single for Plout to right field. 5th hit of the game for Peloteros. First and second, and Jake Redding, who singled up the middle under the glove of Connor Barth behind second base, comes to the plate. The catcher out of Lincoln High School and going to Sierra College will be the 8th hitter of the inning for Peloteros. Breaking ball in there for a strike. 0-1, more activity in the bullpen for the Potters. It is Jason Riviela, the intern, a.k.a. the intern, warming up. First and second, 2 outs. Another breaking ball is hit high up in the air to right field. Furry moving over. And he'll give it to the center fielder, Drew Andrews, who covers a lot of ground and makes the catch. So 3 runs for Peloteros here in the third. We go to the 4th. They lead at 4-0.
American River College is a top-tier community college sports program that provides student athletes with the opportunity to thrive both athletically and academically. ARC Athletics is currently ranked 5th in the state and 2nd in Northern California. With over 19 sports programs, our athletes compete with the region's best athletes. Our diverse and dedicated coaching staff helps athletes develop the skills necessary to compete at the next level. Start your community college athletics journey with us. American River College, Sacramento's best athletic program. Go Beavers.
Top of inning number 4 from McBean Stadium. Potters looking up at a 4-0 deficit to Peloteros. They're also looking at a new pitcher, the right-hander Eric Erdman out of Jesuit High School. No college committed yet for Eric. He will take over for David Weiser, who went 3 innings, gave up no hits, walked 4, and struck out 5. So had some base path activity due to the walk, but had the 5 strikeouts in 3 innings and got up to about 94 miles an hour. So the right-hander who is headed for Stanford was very impressive out here, and now it's up to Eric Erdman. Antoneros will be the hitter. He struck out looking in the second. The Potters trail 4-0. We're in the 4th inning. Reminder, only 7 innings in all the tournament games until the championship game Tuesday evening. So Potters, not a lot of time to make up some ground. Erdman works from the stretch. He's a tall drink of water. His fastball is outside for a ball at 90 miles an hour. It'll be Eros, then Furry, then Dillon. 4, 5, and 6 for the Potters. That is a strike. Jax Jimenez has moved out on deck to hit for Furry. That is in there for a strike, 1-2. So Trey makes 1 appearance tonight, gets the base on balls, and Jimenez will take over, and no doubt take over in right field as well. Erdman the 1-2, it's outside, 2-2. He's up to 91, the right-hander. Jake Redding behind the plate for Peloteros. Hilton, Brennan, Moore, and Plout on the infield. Chuck, Pedersen, and Fern in the outfield. Line drive over the shortstop's leap into left field for the first hit of the game for the Potters. Good try by Brennan. Almost got up and got that one. But Anson is at first base. And here is Jax Jimenez. Out of Whitney High School, headed to the University of Oregon. Tremendous high school career, and he is up here with a runner at first and nobody out in the 4th inning. Line drive straight over the head of Brennan, and Cash got way up, but just couldn't get there. Ball was hit very hard. Outside, nice job by Redding to snag that one. See Martine down there. I guess Martine's birthday was today. He threw out the first pitch as he does every summer, so that was tremendous to see him out there. One of the great Potter fans, probably in the Potter Fan Hall of Fame, I would think. Throw to first base and getting back is Antoneros. Definitely in the Potter Fan Hall of Fame. That's a good Hall of Fame, though. Really good Hall of Fame. Parking lot Potter's obviously in the first class. There goes the runner. The throw to second base is not in time, and he's in there. Potter's down 4, still sending the runner in. A great slide down there by Encineros to get around the tag, applied by Brennan. Redding's throw right on the money. 2 balls and no strikes on Jax Jimenez with Cole Dillon to follow. The sun not a problem in the infield, still is in left field for Owazlachuk. Inside, that's a nice play. Oh, the catcher gets it, throws down to third base, and he is out at third base, and the Potters can't really afford that, getting a runner thrown out, down by 4. I think he thought the ball had gotten by Redding, but Jake came up throwing and made the play at third base for the first out. 3-0 on Jimenez. I don't think that was a steal. I think he just thought the ball got away from Redding, and it didn't. And Redding had the wherewithal to come up throwing. 3-0 pitches in there, strike 1. 3-1 on Jimenez. Great crowd out here tonight, checking out West Coast World Series action. Group of locals on both sides. Potters against the high school, Los Peloteros. Inside, ball 4. So 1 out, 1 on, and Cole Dillon will be the hitter. He grounded out to second base his first time. That was against David Weiser. Connor Barth, the newcomer, on deck. So the Potters have a single and a walk in the inning, but still just 1 runner on. And Dillon comes to the plate. 1 for 2 with a home run in last night's action for Cole out of Rockwall, Texas. Takes the fastball, gets away, but staying put at first base is Jimenez. He learned his lesson from Encineros, who thought the ball got away, and it didn't. So Jackson's going to play it safe. That was called a strike, so it's 0-1. Erdman, second pitcher for Peloteros. David Weiser went the first 3 innings, thrower to first base, and he is back. No hits allowed for Weiser. He did walk 4, and he struck out 5 in 3 innings. Dillon fouls that one off, so he's quickly 0-2 on Cole. Got some more shaved ices. Not any more mammoths, though. That one was the biggest one we saw all night earlier on. Oh, 2 coming up. Now we're going to throw to first again and get the runner back. Peloteros is stretching out some more arms down there, down the third base, or down the left field line. Erdman to the plate. Dillon chops it down to third base, handled by Olson over to second for 1 to first, and not in time. And it's a fielder's choice for Dillon. He'll take over at first base with 2 outs, and Connor Barth will be the hitter. Olson had to wait for that one to come down. He gunned it down to Moore at second, made the turn, just not quite in time to catch the speedy Cole Dillon. And Connor Barth will be the hitter. Connor out of Roseville, California, Mississippi State University is where he's headed. And he steps in here with 2 outs and 1 on in the top of the 4th. Got a ball coming out of the bullpen from one side, probably the Potter side. Nope, other side. So Barr steps in, 0 for 1 tonight. Drew Andrews on deck. Erdman's first pitch is inside, it gets away, almost hit him. Going down to second base is Dillon. 1 ball and no strikes on Barth. Potters just need to get something on the board here. They trail it 4-0. We're in the 4th, but we're only playing 7. Potters the visiting team here for the second straight day here in the tournament. Well, that's the second time the ball's got out of the bullpen for Peloteros, so I think the penalty is definitely, I think we move the runners one base. I think that's definitely the penalty. But I'm not getting too much support for my new rule, so Barth swings and fouls it back to the screen, perilously close to the Stones Broadcast Network cameras. Riley, you might have to be on the move again, my friend. I know. We're both wearing our Stones Broadcast Network shirts today, so, I mean, we have a united front, if nothing else. One ball, one strike on Connor Barth. Breaking ball high, 2-1. Erdman's off-speed pitch comes in about 81 miles an hour there, 10 miles slower than the fastball. So it's 2-1. Swing and a miss at that fastball. Do it right by him at 90, so it's 2-2. Peloteros with 1 in the second, 3 in the third to take the 4-0 lead. Weiser, after 3 innings, gives way to Eric Erdman. Gives up a hit and a walk, but one is gunned down trying to steal. Swing and a miss again, a strike 3 call. So Barth is down on strikes. Potters get 1 hit, but leave 1. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Potters trailing at 4-0.
This job is the Esplanade Turkey Creek phases 4 and 5. Our scope of work for this project is full scope, so we've got all the underground, all the joint trench, and all the topside included with it.
We're putting in sewer pipe, manholes. We're not doing services yet. We go through and do all the main line, and then we come back and do all the services after that. I would say this project right here, the one we're working on, is probably about a 2-month project. It's very costly to the developer, so beating the schedule is very important, more important than most projects. It's got a lot of groundwater, so we've got an extensive groundwater pump system in place. It's just cool to be a part of the built environment and know that for the next 100 years that people are going to use and enjoy what we've created here today.
I'm Bill Spear, North Valley president of 5 Star Bank. In a time when business can feel so uncertain, we're here for you every step of the way.
I know they have a lot of bells and whistles within their bank, but just the relationship piece here locally on the business side is huge for us.
5 Star treats us like we're number 1. They're right there with suggestions, with help. So I have to bank with people that have our mission in mind.
We're 5 Star Bank. How can we help you?
Bottom of the 4th inning, Potters trailing at 4-0. They bring in a new pitcher, Jason Riviello, a.k.a. the intern, because that's what he is. He's an intern, but he's also a pitcher, and he'll face Austin Williams, Brady Fern, and Carson Moore here in the 4th inning as Peloteros looks to add on to their 4-0 lead to solidify their spot in the semifinals. Austin gritted to a double play his first time up on a good play by Connor Barth out at second to start the 4-6-3 turn. He is out of Jesuit High School. No college commitment yet. He faces Riviello out of William Jessup University. First pitch is swung on and missed. 86 from the intern. Willie Preston singing his praises as an intern. He's saying he's really doing a lot of good work as an intern. Then he puts on the uniform and pitches. And that pitch is outside. And you got Willie singing your praises. You're doing a pretty good job. Not to say he's a crotchety old man, but, you know, if he's saying nice stuff about you, you're doing a good job. 1-1. Foul back, 1-2 to Austin Williams. Austin the DH tonight for Peloteros. Skippered by Eli Garcia, assisted by Isaiah Garcia, and probably others over there. I don't want to slight anybody, but those are the two I know since they were kids here in Lincoln. Here's a 1-2. That sails high and outside, so it's 2-2. want to see somebody doing the blind grab. I can't see him doing the blind grab because that's in the concourse right behind us, so I don't get to watch anybody doing that. Willie, I want to see somebody do the blind grab. 2-2 pitch. Sails outside, off speed, 3-2. Jake Morrell, the left-hander, loosening up for the Potters. He's just throwing around, that happens. Also activity for Peloteros as well, 3-2 pitch. Outside, ball 4. So Williams goes down to first base, and that'll bring up Brady Fern, who singled to right field in the third and started the 3-run rally for Fern out of Oakmont High School, the Oakmont Vikings. Steps up here, looks down at his third base coach. Riviello from the stretch. Short lead at first by Williams. He shows bunt, does Fern. He bunts it back to the screen. 0-1. (8:30 noon, 3:30 and 7 the times tomorrow. If you're in the area, come on out and check it out. If not, please follow us on Stones Broadcast Networks and Lincoln Potters Baseball YouTube channels. We appreciate it. Fastball right down the middle. 0-2. Coming out in record numbers for this year's West Coast World Series. It's like Jalen Patterson, also out of Oakmont, loosening up for Peloteros. Headed for San Jose State. 0-2 coming up to Fern. In the dirt. Nice block by Harvey. It's right behind him. He'll pick it up. So it's 1-2. Chamberlain, Barth, Johnson, and Dillon in the infield. Eros, Andrews, and Jimenez in the outfield. Riviello on the mound. Jake Harvey behind the plate. 1-2 pitch, and that is ball 2. Just a little bit too low. Evens it up, 2 balls and 2 strikes. The intern thought he had one right there, but denied, so it's 2-2. Swing and a miss, but it's fouled. So got a piece of it, did Brady Fern. Stayed alive. He is 1 for 1 tonight. Right fielder hitting in the number 9 spot for Peloteros. Got Williams at first base, nobody out here in the 4th. Bottom of the 4th. Popped up out of play again. So Riviello comes with the 87-mile-an-hour fastball, and Fern fouls it out of play. Check swing, and it's too high, and he did not go. So that'll take it to a full count as another ball comes out of Peloteros' bullpen. Something's got to be done, Riley. Because they've got the catcher, they've got a backup who's backing up the catcher and still is getting out of there. Full count pitch from Riviello. Swings and fouls it off again. So Fern staying tough up there. That's what I hear about the Oakmont Vikings, though. They stay tough. Like Riley the Engineer. None tougher than Riley the Engineer. Swings and fouls it off again. That time it's, there's Hunter. Hunter the ball guy. Throws it to Stevie the ball kid. He got a nice little thing going over there. You got to give Hunter a last name, a baseball last name. Hunter Ruth. No. Hunter Mays. Maybe that's it. 3-2 pitch. Fastball call, strike 3 inside corner. So Riviello, the intern, pulls out the inside fastball to get the strikeout. 1 out, and that'll bring up the top of the order, and that's Carson Moore, the second baseman out of Del Oro High School. He has popped to the pitcher. He has walked and scored. So 0 for 1 for Carson. I must say the crowd is patronizing the Brick and Barrel Beer Garden very well tonight for a Sunday night. I don't know if I want to go far as to say pleasant Sunday night, but it's not bad right now. It's probably like only, I don't know, 94 or something like that. Shows bunt, takes it outside. So it's 1-0. .92. I mean, that was close. Not really, like I say, not really pleasant, but when you got the blind grab. Swing and a miss. Nice fastball by the intern. 1 ball and 1 strike. That's when you put your hand in the ice barrel. And you got a 16-ouncer, a 12-ounce can, a 16-ounce can. You just fish around until you get one you like. You pull it out. $5. $6, 19 or 24 ounces. What could go wrong? There goes the runner. The pitch is swung and fouled back to the screen. So he'll have to go back as he slides into second base, does Austin Williams. So unfortunately, all for naught, sir. You go back to first base. As Willie says, there's also ciders and claws and stuff in there. So it's all kinds. It's like a grab bag. Now, if you are like me and you put your hand in there and you get a White Claw, you don't like those. I'm sure you can put it back in. You got your receipt. You put it back in and you grab a beer. You have to be able to because I'm not a claw guy, okay? Not the claw. 1-2. Cowbells are ringing. Here's the pitch. In the dirt. Nice block, Jake Harvey. 2-2. I mean, there has to be that amount. I mean, you can't say, well, I got a 12-ouncer. I want to go back and try to get a 16. I wouldn't do that. But if you're not, you're not a claw guy, not a cider guy, and you want to try for a brewski, I mean, come on, Willie. Go talk to him. Make sure the rules are written down because this is a great idea. You've got to hone it. 2-2 pitch misses outside, so it's 3-2. Cash Brennan on deck, the shortstop for Peloteros. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning from McBean Stadium, the West Coast World Series Day 2, Game 3. Line drive right field, that's a fair ball base hit. Going over is Jimenez, he'll pick it up, runners going around, headed for second, the throw comes in, it's going to be cut off, it's a double for Carson Moore. Now runners at second and third and 1 out. And Cash Brennan coming to the plate. That's hit number 6 for Peloteros. As Moore all over that 3-2 pitch. Drilled it to right field. Jimenez got to it as quickly as possible, but could not prevent the double. And here's Brennan, who struck out and walked. Scored a run back in the 3rd inning when Peloteros struck for 3 of their 4. Infield in for the Potters. First pitch is in the dirt, ball 1. Brennan's followed by Kyle Pedersen. One ball, no strikes on Brennan out of Rockland High School, headed for the University of Arizona. Lines it foul down the left field line in the bullpen area. Say, hey, you keep throwing balls down here, we're going to line one in there and see how you like it. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ryan Stevens coming back up top. He'll join us in the top of the 5th inning, if I can persuade him to. That's lined over the third baseman's head into left field, base hit. 1 runs in, picked up out in left field by Encineros and gets it in quickly, but it's an RBI single for Brennan. Run in makes it 5-0 for Peloteros. Moving to third is Carson Moore. Williams scores. And here's Kyle Pedersen, who's grounded to second and had an RBI single of his own. 7th hit for Peloteros in this one. They lead it now 5-0. And still threatening here in the 4th. The runners at first and third and 1 out. See if Brennan's taking off at first base. He is. The throw's bluffed, throw back to third, but not in time. So they threw down the last time and got there. And this time the bluff was on. And the throw back to third behind Moore, but Moore gets back. And now Potters will have to pull the infield in again with runners at second and third and 1 out here in the 4th. Pitch is called a strike. That one is also called a strike, so it's 0-2. And Pedersen just did the batter equivalent of rolling his eyes. He just kind of rolled the neck like, oh. The one we're used to seeing every teenager do. Even Riley in his time. Just rolling the eyes. 0-2 pitch. Thought about it, didn't go, and held back. It's 1-2. Good pitch by the intern, Jason Riviello. but he misses the outside corner. Almost got the chase from Pedersen. So now it's 1-2. Fastball is ball 2. I haven't mentioned the bounce house. It's still running down the left field line, but not at crazy levels, not at frenzied levels, but still doing respectable business down there. 2-2 pitch coming up. Hit down to third, backhand and not down the line past Dillon. 1 run scores. Here comes the second, but Brennan falls down. The throw back to third, and they're going to tag him out. And we might have a ruling down the left field line. I think we have interference or something down the left field line, and they're going to allow Brennan to score. Maybe he was interfered with as he went around third base, and he'll be awarded home. So Pedersen's going to get credit for 2 runs batted in and pick up his second hit of the game. Moore scores, Brennan scores, and Troy Yeltsin will be the hitter. It's a sharply to second. Barth, the second for 1, is going to have to hurry to get him at first, and I don't think they did get him at first base. So 3 runs in for Peloteros in the 4th. We go to the 5th. They lead at 7-0.
Hi, Bill Evans, President of the Placer County Association of Realtors. We're in the store, our conference facilities, an amazing team helps keep together an amazing organization, and we thank them all.
This organization can't do what it does and can't run the way it runs without the help of so many members volunteering their time.
The success of the Placer County Association of Realtors is largely dependent on our active volunteer members to help our organization and industry. The work of our committees greatly impacts our ability to champion efforts across the board and giving back to the Placer County community wherever we can.
Like all service organizations, I wanted to serve. And getting involved with the affiliate committee was the perfect way to do that.
I love being able to serve my community with my business friends and other leaders and give back to those who are in need.
The thing I love about the PCAR committees is they all work toward the same goal of bringing the community together to support those in need in our surrounding area.
I instantly came to the meeting and had a wonderful time, felt like I was a part of something bigger, and it was just the start of my leadership journey.
Situated on the corner of Lincoln Boulevard and 5th Street, this iconic building has been the home to several hotels over the decades.
Top of inning number 5, last game, day 2, West Coast World Series. Peloteros leading at 7-0. They'll bring in a new pitcher. His name's Jalen Patterson. He's out of Oakmont High School, headed to San Jose State University. And he will face Drew Andrews, Jake Harvey, and Asani Johnson. We are joined in the booth by a most welcome visitor, Ryan Stevens, manager of the Potters for, I think, like 5 seasons. Is that what it was?
That's what
and
it was.
then since then, you've been involved with Jessup softball and now baseball, right?
Correct. Yeah, I've been doing both. But now being back with baseball, it's been a pleasure for me. And, I have a couple guys out here tonight that were actually watching that played for me this last season. It's been awesome.
Now, I know you can't talk about all that stuff, so, I'm going to keep it away from that. But tell me your feelings as you come out. I know the West Coast World Series is kind of a different chapter in the Potters season. There's a regular season, there's playoffs, and then there's a West Coast World Series. So what are your memories of the West Coast World Series?
I'm pretty fond of the memories of the West Coast World Series because it's a little bit of a roster turnover here at the end. You get a lot of local guys that come in and play for you. But I think it's a little bit more fun, more relaxing. At the same time, there's the winning expectations, but it's a little bit more relaxing. You can kind of sit back and enjoy it more so than, conference play at the time.
Andrews rips it down to Yeltsin at third. He gives it over to Plowd at first base for the first out in the inning. That'll bring up Jake Harvey. Jake, one of the guys, like you talked about, didn't get a lot of at-bats during the regular season. The guy out of Roseville, University of Nevada, coming out here, getting to swing the bat a little bit in the West Coast World Series. You'd love to see that.
Yeah, absolutely. Jake's a really good local product. He got a good chance to catch a bunch at Nevada. He was actually a shortstop in high school, and
Wow.
they transferred him over to a catcher, and he's done a great job back there for Nevada.
That's the thing. I don't know why it is. Whenever I talk to you, we always talk about changing positions, and we're always talk about versatility. And that one's behind Jake. I don't know he can do much with that one, no matter what we talk about. But I mean, it's true. I mean, and sometimes you get kids that are a little bit maybe younger than these guys. These guys might be learning it right now. Is that you're a good player at your level, moving up level to level. But at some point, everybody's a good player, and the more things you can do, the better off you are.
Yeah, you want your best chance to get in the lineup. You better be versatile and be able to move around, because there's going to be kids just as good as you after high school or after JUCO, and you're going to have to find a way to battle to get in that lineup. And the more things you can do for them on defense, the more chances you give yourself to play every day. And that's really what these guys are trying to do.
There's a grounder down to the third. Look out for the bat. It goes to short. Yoltson goes to first and makes the play for the second out. The bat made it out into the outfield. The ball did not. So 2 straight grounders to third, and that'll bring up Hassani Johnson. Hassani is a guy who you just love to watch play. I mean, he's out here. He was gone for a couple of days, and all of a sudden you'd forget he was on the team, and he comes back out, and you look up at the end of the season, he's hitting .345 for you.
Yeah, Hassani's a great player. He's going to, for University of Louisiana Monroe where he is, and they're going to be really excited to have him and watch him grow. He can do a lot of things well. He's done a lot of things well for the Potters this summer, and just for an outsider looking in, he's definitely an electric player that's going to offer a lot at the D1 level.
First pitch to him from Patterson. He swings and misses. Do you find that sometimes we talk about guys getting some at-bats late in the season who hadn't gotten that much play? Do you find that the other side is true? Sometimes you get guys who have had a long season, and they get into this last little part of games, and sometimes they get a little fatigue?
Oh, yeah, it happens all summer. I think you get into the late stretch of everything where guys that got a lot of at-bats during the spring, and then they come here and get a lot of at-bats with us. They just, little fatigue, little tired. I think it's really the mental side of it, really what it comes down to is just staying locked in, swinging at good pitches, trying to grind out at-bats. It's hard, and it takes a lot for sure.
And that's something I'm going to project this, but I think that would be something you as the manager was acutely aware of and worried about as far as each season going on and making sure you got people at their peaks and not in their valleys.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the biggest thing is just motivating the guys and making sure that they're up for every game. And I think that's really the hard part as a manager in a summer ball setting. It's hard to get up for these games. Even though we have great crowds out here and stuff, it doesn't mean as much to them as their spring season when it goes a long way. But making sure they're energized, making sure there's a reason for them to be out here and play every day, kind of giving them that motivation. And I think, toot my own horn, that's something that, me as a coaching staff, the guys I had, we did a really good job of just motivating guys every day and giving them something to play for. And that's what we had to do. And
as manager, I would assume that's something you've kind of got to learn how to do too. I mean, when you take over your first team, maybe you're not as aware of that, or you're not as attuned to that as you are later on.
Yeah, for sure. It's something you have to grow with. And, Hassani goes down looking there. He's not happy with those calls there.
Not happy at all. That's a 1-2-3 inning in the fifth for Patterson. We'll go to the bottom of the fifth. We'll keep Ryan Stevens here. Potters trailing at 7-0.
Astro Air Design Incorporated, where you feel the difference. We are a locally owned and operated heating, air conditioning, and custom sheet metal company committed to the highest quality of craftsmanship at a competitive price. Our trained and certified technicians have the knowledge and experience required to install, maintain, or repair your home comfort solutions. Our upfront pricing gives you the peace of mind because you know your price is locked in. Call Astro Air Design Incorporated today.
Here in Michigan, we do more than just survive the winter. We thrive during it. You simply can't keep us away from what we love most: great times and amazing beer. The snow transforms the landscape and lays the path for adventures yet to be had. Trails ready to be explored, and freshly groomed hills ready for the first run of the day. And later, as the sun descends, it's time to unwind with great conversation and even better friends. Experience a taste of Michigan winter with Founders Brewing Company, born and brewed in Michigan.
Being a laborer means everything. It was what took care of me when I was growing up. It's what takes care of me now. Because of President Biden and the money he's put into infrastructure, the need for our workforce to expand is out of this world. When our members are able to go to work on these big projects that are funded by Biden's economic investments, it means continued growth in their wages, in their pensions, in their health benefits. It means they're going to be able to take care of their families.
Bottom of inning number 5, Potters trailing at 7-0. Jake Morrell, the left-hander out of AR, and headed to William Jessup, is on the mound. He'll face Andrew Wasselchuk, Landon Plout, and Jake Redding. Ryan Stevens is still with us. And Ryan, I want to ask you, I only know you as the manager because you're out here running the show all summer for 5 years now. You're assisting over at William Jessup. How is that different for you to settle back into now I know maybe you're assistant head coach. I don't know the vernacular, but how is that different for you to settle into an assistant position?
It's kind of good for me. It really lets me focus on my job and my task ahead, and really be good at what I'm trying to do and trying to develop, and not try to oversee everything. Trevor Payne does a really good job over there at Jessup of overseeing the personnel and making sure we have everything we need to be successful. And he lets me kind of work with the hitters and work with the infielders, and it allows me to be a perfectionist at a certain thing instead of overseeing everything.
Now, we talked, when you were on the famous Phantom Talk Show, which I thought was a tremendous show that would stop before its time. We talked a little bit about how you grew and developed a philosophy and everything, and the different guys who influenced you. And how is it different for you now taking over as an assistant at this point in your career as it would have been maybe, 7-8 years ago?
I think 7-8 years ago, you're kind of on the learning curve. You're just listening. You're taking things in. You're not as aggressive with your words. You're not stepping up and doing things or running drills. I think now, at the point of my career now, is I'm getting to the point where it's like you got to be a leader. You got to step in. You got to kind of run the show. When the skipper's doing something else,
yeah.
We kind of really do a good job of just going back and forth of making sure our guys have the best interest.
So it's a little assertiveness. It's a little just confidence knowing you've done it before and you know how to do it. So now we're here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Now, if the Potters don't score in the 6th inning, it'll be a run rule game. So let's just play it out as you're the manager and you have a team that's going to lose this game. You're going to have to come back if, in fact, they do at 8:30 tomorrow morning. So what is your mindset? What are you trying to do in the dugout with your guys?
I think the biggest thing is just to fight and continue to fight and try to carry momentum into tomorrow, even if that looks like an 8:30 game.
Yeah.
You come out here and you play this way and you don't show up, you kind of deserve the 8:30 game. However, you still have a fighting chance. And I think what it comes down to is you got 2 chances to play tomorrow instead of 1. And that's kind of something to look forward to. And you're going to try to motivate the guys, and it's the first time they've played all summer at that time. So I think it's one of those things. It's a different experience, and trying to get these guys out of bed and playing. And now it's a challenge instead of what everybody thought was going to happen.
Yeah, and then maybe if you win that first game tomorrow, maybe you get another chance at Peloteros. There goes the runner at first base, pitches inside, and maybe that's a motivating factor. They've had a couple of slides. I mean, they played a really good game. I give Eli and Isaiah a lot of credit for coaching that club, but they got to teach them how to slide a little better. There's a couple of guys doing belly flops out there.
I tell you what, I think it's McBean. I've seen a lot of weird slides at McBean and a lot of guys looking for trainers. Let's put it that way.
Base on balls, back-to-back walks. That one for Landon Plout. It'll bring up Jake Redding, the catcher out of Lincoln High School. And we're going to get a meeting at the mound. And this situation now, you got Tyler Robertson going out. Now, do you know Tyler? I don't know if we ever talked about that. I think he's been a great job out here. And we talked a little bit about how the team caught fire toward the end of the season, and that's kind of a hallmark of you guys. But there's a lot of similarities when I watch his team, especially late, as opposed to your teams as well.
Yeah, no, Tyler Robertson, we played together in Legion Ball. We played together a little bit here and there on travel ball, and then we played against each other in high school.
Oh, wow.
Great,
so it goes
great,
back
it goes back a while, but great competitor, great dude. Definitely a player's coach, relates with the guys on the benches, definitely motivates them. I think, at times when you get into situations like this, it gets hard for anybody. But, he keeps the boys going, and what's nice about it is we have Jessup guys, and, they report back to me on how he is, and they love him. So,
that's fantastic.
I think that's the most important thing. as the skipper, is to make sure that clubhouse likes you, especially in the summer, and willing to do what they have to do for you in the summer and play hard. And he definitely brings that out of the guys for sure.
Yeah, and it was a difficult situation because Mike was supposed to be the manager, and then he got the job with the Marlins. And all of a sudden, here's Tyler coming in, and maybe he was a little slow getting started, but I think he's really asserted himself, put his imprint on this team, and I do think it does represent a lot of what your teams did. We had Ray Garcia up here talking about how close this team is in the clubhouse, and that was a hallmark of your teams, and I was impressed that Tyler is able to do that so quickly. Yeah, no, I think one of the things about summer ball is people think you're just going to come in and out for the next 2-3 months. You're not going to meet anybody, but a lot of times, even to this day, I've gone to games and guys still talk to each other and have created lifelong friendships. And to create that dynamic in the clubhouse is so important because it makes them want to come out and play for each other. If it's an individualistic sport here, we're not going to win. And so making sure that dynamic's good in the clubhouse, spending time together on the road, or, when we're eating here after the games or whatever it may be, that's so important to grow the team culture and make sure these guys want to play for each other. Yeah, and he was also talking about a guy that I know you love and we love as well, Logan Bell, who's been one of the guys who's been he along with Nolan Thebe kind of been running this team a little bit. And Logan's one of those guys that when you think about the Potters, you think about yourself as well, but you think about guys like a Trey Furry who's been here 2-3 years, Daniel Susak coming back all the time, guys like Logan, guys like Schmitty, and that's the kind of guys that a team needs to build over the seasons, and we've been lucky to have guys like that here. We've been so blessed to have really good local talent, that guys that just buy into what we're trying to do here, buy into the kind of the city, the fans, everything that has to do with Potters baseball, and guys like Chamizo, guys like you said, Susak, Furry, Logan Bell, those guys that just step in and want to keep coming back. It's just such a pleasure to have those guys and have them lead, and have them and show us. And I was actually talking to Furry about it, but we're getting to the point now where I was here long enough where we're going to have some guys coming back to coach soon that we have to. Yeah, and that's great. I mean, look at Brock. I always say, those who can't do teach, Brock couldn't get a guy out when he was pitching for you, but I mean, he does a fantastic job as a pitching coach. He really does. He's super organized. He does a good job as a pitching guy. We're super blessed to have Brock Riggets at Jessup, and having him here when I was here as a skipper, it was awesome. He really brought an extra dynamic to that bullpen and really worked with guys, and guys were super blessed to have those guys. We've talked over the years. I've been so blessed to have the coaches that I had when I was here. We had such good guys, and the players benefited from that. It's so easy to just cash in when you're in the summer. Oh, go play, don't learn anything. Right. But we really invested into these players, and if you look at, now we're up to, 30-plus guys drafted over the last 6 years. It's a testament to what we were doing on the field. Yeah, I don't think I mentioned JP enough that give him the credit that he deserves for all the years that he worked with you and the year he took over as well. So, yeah, you don't think of the coaches as much as you think of the players, but they obviously have a big thing. And I mean, the coaches, I would think, have as much impact over where their guys come back, because that's the thing that we always watch, and you do too. We watch Healdsburg and we marvel at the fact that their players go out and they're really established college players. They still come back to Healdsburg to play because that's what they do during the summer, and that's the thing you want to try to instill in players, and that's what you're trying to do. And every team's trying to get their guys to come back. Yeah, for sure. I think it makes it really easy on you as a recruiting guy in the summer when you got guys that bought into what everything's, what you're doing. And Joey's done a really good job with that at Healdsburg. You look at guys that the talent level they get, and you're thinking, no way they come back to Healdsburg and play another season. But here they are every year. And that's the same lineup they run out there, and they win. And it's definitely a testament to what Joey's doing over there and what he's building. And, we hope to be doing the same thing here of getting guys that are at a high level that want to come back and play for us as well. I know I think Burke was drafted in the second round, maybe the first round. And I said, well, he's not going to sign until he can come back and play for Healdsburg for another summer. That's what I thought was going to happen. But talk about a nightmare. Yeah, just got to commend them for that. And they lift it. The rising tide lifts all boats kind of thing. I mean, if we want to compete with them, which we definitely want to do, we've got to go ahead and up our game as well, because they're not going to drop theirs down to any other level. No, you want to compete at the highest level, and I think they've set the tone now. It's been year after year they're winning the league and, kind of setting the tone of what it needs to look like. You have to get to that point. And, me as an outsider kind of looking in and recruiting, we're getting to the point now where it's how do we get to that level and who do we need to bring in
When do we go away from the younger developing age to
Right,
more
I
of the,
know.
to more of the guys that are ready to go now? And we're getting there. It's close. We're definitely on the cusp, and I think you guys saw that in the 3-game series with Healdsburg. It was a battle.
Absolutely.
And we're there. So we just got to find a way to turn the page and get over the hump.
You know what you're talking about? It's really weird because I remember the year that Stanford made it to the College World Series, and they had, 6 Potters, 8 Potters, but some of those Potters, for the most part, those Potters were guys who were not, fully realized when they were on the Potters.
Right.
Then they went out and they, 1 year later or 2 years later, all of a sudden they're, on the biggest stage. So we get guys at the beginning of their development, and sometimes we're instrumental in development. I know Ryan Bruno came here and really kind of found himself, and others too as well. They had some great kids on that team, Trevor Haskins and Eddie Park and everybody. But it seems like we do get guys a little bit on that development side, like you said, and you've got to look to the other side of the arc as well if you want to be competitive.
Yeah, absolutely. And you don't really see, for the most part, as an outsider looking in, what those kids can do in the future, and we're tasked with developing those guys and making sure they're ready for that level. And it should say a lot about what we're doing here, and kind of the fans showing up and giving them the pressure of what it looks like to play at that level. And it really kind of goes on to the next thing of what we're trying to do here. And you said it, the Stanford guys are definitely a testament. There was about 6 or 7 of those guys starting this year alone in that Stanford lineup, and they all had a Potters jersey on at one point.
Fantastic to see him, and fantastic to see some kids from Kentucky as well. Nolan McCarthy is a guy I often think. I don't think he was only here 1 year, but he made a heck of an imprint on the team, and I think he was probably instrumental in getting a couple of kids from Kentucky. Gargett, who played this year, I don't know how many times you got to see him, but I was so impressed with him as far as defensively, offensively. The guy, I think he hit close over 400, and his on-base percentage was over 500. He was instrumental whenever he was in the lineup. So it's nice having that kind of pipeline, and I think Nolan was a part of that. I remember back to first or second year of the Potters, when it was just mostly local guys, and then all of a sudden Isaiah goes down to Fullerton and he comes back and plays, and that kind of opens up that pipeline, and I think that was the way we kind of got started.
It really is. You got to kind of open the window to get a guy to dive in, right? It's kind of a weird metaphor, but you have to have the coaches at these big schools to understand and trust you with the players they're sending to you, because overuse is such a thing at the youth level now.
Yes.
It doesn't translate as much to the college level, but coaches are worried. They got guys that play for them, that they're invested in, they give money to each year, and they want to make sure that the guys they're sending to them in the summer take care of them. And we've built that trust across the country, and I think it's one of those things that's only going to get better.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you one more thing, and I'm going to let you go. As we've got the Potters have walked 4 in a row here. We've got a run for Peloteros. They lead at 8-0. Brady Fern is the batter. Liam Golden is now on the mound. But you talk about coaches and trusting you and not wanting to overdo things. I think that what people don't understand sometimes when they come out to a game and they see a pitcher struggling, why don't they take that guy out? Or this guy's 0 for 2, he struck out. Why don't they replace him? But, when you get guys that's popped up over at first base and that'll be out of play, when you get guys, there's a certain expectation. Coaches are sending them to you with the expectation that he's going to get X number of innings or X number of bats, and that's something you have to deal with as a manager, right?
It is, and you kind of know going into it what you're getting and what his struggles are, or something he has to work through, and it's our job to make him work through it. Because when they get to the D1 level and they're playing and pitching, it's not something they're going to deal with.
That's foul down the right field line. Brady Fern, the hitter.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ryan.
It's kind of one of those things, too. It's what you're looking at now. You got a couple guys that he's gone through already. You get a couple walks, and your next guy. A couple walks, next guy. And that's something they deal with at the D1 level. Unless, we've let them develop and work through it, it's something they're never going to learn, and to see that they can believe they can get through, something that's not so good.
Right, yeah. It's something that when you're like – traditionally, the first couple of weeks of a Potter season, if you got guys working through stuff, that's hit sharply to short. Johnson, the second, they'll go for 1 over to first. Did not get him. It's a fielder's choice and RBI for Fern. As scoring is Plout. Moving to third is Redding, and Williams is out at second base, and Fern gets the RBI on the fielder's choice. 2 runs in, they'll bring up Carson Moore. All right, Ryan, I'm going to let you go. Thanks so much for dropping by. I know you got people you got to talk to, things you got to do. But I must say, you actually, you paid the price today because you brought a beer up right away.
I did.
And that was tremendous because I was craving one, and you brought it up. And as always, just deliver just what I needed. So thanks, Ryan. It's great to see you. Continued success. I'll have to come out to a Jesuit game and check you guys out this year. Will I get well treated? Well, what about Jessup?
Jessup, you'll see me.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Will you still treat me well?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
I'll
very
probably
good.
stick you on the mic that we don't have.
I'm best
I'll
on
just- I'll
mics
just
I
kick
don't.
the guy off
I'm
and
best on mics I don't have. You know that. You know that about me. Ryan Stevens, the best around. There's a fly ball to center field. Moving over is Andrews. That should get the run in from third base, and it will. Third run in for Peloteros. They now lead at 10-0 with 2 outs here, and Cash Brennan will be the hitter. Brother of Peyton Brennan.
Yes.
And then you name your kids Peyton and Cash. Why not Tango and Cash? You know, come on. I know that Riley doesn't understand that joke, but I know you do. Come on, you got it.
Yeah. I think they just walked.
Oh,
him off
that's a
10-0.
walk-off. That's 10 runs after 5 innings, and so that is a walk-off for Peloteros. That's the end of the game, so I couldn't get you out of here fast enough. The game got over.
I know.
They
I
said,
hung
get
out.
Stevens out of there. You got to get Stevens out of there. Peloteros wins this one 10-0. Unofficially, that means the Potters will come back tomorrow morning at 8:30, I believe, against the SoCal Halos. But you want to check LincolnPotters.com and social media to make sure of that one. Peloteros will go into the semifinals. They were very, very impressive tonight. Weiser started. He was the winning pitcher. Went 3 innings and struck out 5. And Peloteros hitting the ball, taking advantage of some wildness from the Potters pitchers late, and they win this 10-0. So Potters will be back early tomorrow, hopefully with a chance to play later tomorrow. Peloteros will get the bye along with AE Express. They will go in straight into the semifinals. For Mark the Phantom Lowe, for Riley the Engineer, for Ryan Stevens, Willie Preston, and Carson, and Lauren, we say thanks for watching. We'll talk to you next time.